Supervisor Hilda Solis has been an exemplary leader and role model for me. She's a person who cares. She's a person who affects change. She's a person who appreciates relationships and honors them. And right now it is my true honor to introduce Hilda Solis as the incoming chair of the Board of Supervisors. Congratulations. May you lead with courage and faith. Does it really matter? Why bother to care?
Discharge the duties upon which I am about to.
Discharge the duties.
I've heard all the reasons.
The first time I became chair of the Board of Supervisors was 4 years ago, and the world has changed so much since then. Los Angeles County has also changed. Just look at what we've been able to accomplish during this time. Through our collective resolve, Measure H was passed, bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars so our unhoused neighbors can receive the services and housing they need and deserve. We passed Measure A to invest in communities without green space. Those that are park poor, who are now beginning to see more open and recreational park space in their neighborhoods. We've reformed our approach to criminal justice to prioritize care first, jail last, by making investments in healthcare and affordable housing instead of jails. We built affordable housing projects all over the county and will continue to do so. We've advocated for communities facing environmental injustices to get them the justice that they deserve. We developed and fully funded more workforce and job training programs so our young people in particular are getting the opportunities they need to succeed. This Board of Supervisors has taken bold steps to improve the quality of life for all Angelenos. Whether it's Supervisor Catherine Barber advocating on behalf of foster children and transitional age youth, or Supervisor Sheila Kuehl working on behalf of women and girls and LGBTQ people, or Supervisor Janice Hahn fighting for more transparency in county government. And of course, our newly elected Supervisor Holly Mitchell is no stranger to working on behalf of our communities. We have been bold and our efforts were paying off. But then came COVID-19.
This is Eyewitness News.
The LA County Department of Public Health just released an update about the rising number of coronavirus cases. Take a listen.
Today, we're also reporting 138 new cases.
LA County health officials report 239 new cases of coronavirus.
Coronavirus does continue to climb. 29 new fatalities reported in LA County as more healthcare workers test positive for the virus. With the uncertainty surrounding this coronavirus crisis, a lot of people have questions about employment and what to do if they lose their jobs or get their hours cut dramatically.
I signed a statewide executive order impacting the entire food chain and entire sector.
We are announcing an extension of our current order through May 15th, 2020.
LA County, just like the rest of the world, has been hit hard by this virus. We had to put portions of our economy on pause.
Let's continue demonstrating our gratitude to our essential workers each day.
Vulnerable communities are struggling as their physical, mental, and financial health hangs in the balance. And these challenges continue today. But, as is the American spirit, during the darkest times, ordinary people step up to do extraordinary things. And I'm proud that our county stepped up to our role as a safety net, catching those who are most vulnerable of falling through, and we've had to adapt and adapt quickly. People experiencing homelessness were especially vulnerable to the virus, So we turned vacant motels and hotels into temporary housing, and now we're making some of those housing permanent. When families were going hungry, we provided food, baby formula, and diapers. When low-income children needed to learn from home, we provided devices and tablets. When communities of color lacked adequate access to COVID-19 testing, the county set up 27 testing sites and established partnerships with 150 other testing sites in the hardest hit areas, all of which are free of cost. When Americans across the country rose up for justice, we heard it loud and clear and moved to close down the decrepit Men's Central Jail while passing Measure J to invest more in healthcare, housing, job creation, and alternatives to incarceration. When Angelenos needed financial relief, we used the funding from the federal government to provide direct rental and small business assistance to our residents instead of backfilling the county's budget. We quickly put in place a moratorium on evictions to protect tenants and provided grants for childcare, money for nonprofits, arts organizations, renters and property owners, as well as small businesses so they could stay afloat. But the pandemic is not over. Far too many people are still getting sick, and many more are at the brink of economic collapse. Their livelihoods are at stake. So we have an enormous task ahead of us. Whatever we have done to try to mitigate the damages, there's even more to do as we move into 2021. The county's #1 priority must continue to be defeating COVID-19. This means continuing to protect one another. It means equitably distributing the vaccine when it's available. And it means to get our economy back up and running, and not only reform but transform our priorities by investing even more in healthcare, in housing, job creation, and fighting climate change and alternatives to incarceration. Because without those things, people will become even more vulnerable to this virus. I know our residents are counting on the county to be there when they fall through the cracks, and we can't let them down. We have to protect not only their lives, but their livelihoods. As your next chairwoman of the Board of Supervisors, I intend to lead with courage, urgency, and humility, and knowing that there's nothing that we can't do if we do it together. I've always been proud to call Los Angeles County my home, and despite these past 9 months, I'm filled with so much hope. Indeed, because I do see the bright light at the end of the tunnel, and we will all head toward it together. Thank you.
But we can rise above the crowd, raise our voices loud, from our actions be proud. We can rise above our fear, draw the enemy near, not by might, but by spirit, we are here.